Welcome, everyone, to the Real Walking Cast, episode 77. I am your host, Matrix Lawyer 212, and I'm with Gloria. What's up, Gloria?
Hello.
So, Miss Gloria, what do you have to say?
I was just thinking a lot lately since the best episode ever came on. um, Thinking about it and thinking about like the future of the show, like wondering, um, seeing what other fans have to say about the episode. Everybody's loving that episode, and just talking about like theories and stuff. And I'm actually really, really starting even more. Like every time I talk to somebody, every time I'm seeing all these things that's being said or theorized, I'm starting to really lean onto the fact or the not the fact but the theory that Daryl is going to die.
Carol.
Yeah, I think they are. I mean, they're hinting at it. There's evidence. There's things like foreshadowing kind of things like that. And there's like even a little bit of a it would make sense if they did kind of thing. There's like, why they would do it. What would come of it? Like, what would they get out of it? Like, would it be good for them kind of thing? I mean, yes, there will be some that will be disappointed and upset because he's so popular, mostly the fangirls. But in the long run, I think it would be okay. I think they would do okay because they have Morgan in, where he's like starting to be a main character, and he's like the type, kind of, not maybe to the same level, hey Chris, as,
Hello.
but he's still that kind of, he's falling into that dynamic.
She think that Carol would die before Morgan.
Yes, and that Daryl's been brought on to maybe be that kind of replacement, and also I'm not saying that he'd be as.
I could see them killing Daryl off, but maybe the actor wants to do other things. What about you, Chris? I want to get your thoughts.
What are we talking about?
Walking Dead. We just talked. She thinks Carol's going to be killed off.
Daryl.
Carol. I think if Norman Reedus is going to go do other things, I know that
Daryl, the foreshadowing.
somebody big is going to die this season or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that Carol is definitely one of the ones who could go.
I would say Daryl.
Because well, I'm saying Carol.
Right.
Yes, and reason being, I think she's entering. They're kind of doing an interesting dynamic with her character and with Morgan, whereas Carol is kind of becoming someone who's losing her humanity really quickly, whereas Morgan is trying to keep his.
Yeah.
And I think that Rick is kind of the perfect middle ground now, where he's kind of like, he has his humanity, but he's willing to let it go, but he's trying to hold on to it.
Right.
I think Carol will go because I think that there will come a point where she might become what you don't want to become. And my evidence with that is when she was talking to Morgan, and she was just like, "Oh, I should have killed you," and he was like, "You couldn't," or whatever he says. I really think that she's just lost so much, and that she thinks you have to become you have to become so detached that eventually she's going to become so detached that there's not going to be a place for her.
Right.
In the group, and I think that she's going to realize that maybe before she's killed off, that she's lost who she is, and this person or this thing she's becoming is just not acceptable,
Right.
So you think she'll get back a little bit of what she lost before she dies?
Yeah, because honestly, though, and when you really think about it, it's her fault that Jesse and her son died.
Yeah, because of
what she told the kid,
Yeah.
And I think that they made a point to show that because she told him that. The old Carol never would have told him that.
No.
And I'm not talking about Carol who was getting abused by her husband.
Yeah,
I'm
but
talking
Chris,
about,
I have a problem with that because
Before she starts overboard, yeah.
you can't blame Carol because the parents is the one that she left him upstairs to be isolated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
to do that.
it was because Carol told him that he was afraid.
Yeah, but it's up to the parent to break them out of their shell, not like allow that.
I can't agree with that because
Really?
they made it a point to have that going through that scene with what she was saying, and he was remembering that when he saw the kid. If Carol never told him that, he probably would have went with Father Gabriel, or he would have
Carol
kept
will
going.
never feel guilt over it because she didn't know that's how he died. Like, she didn't know what he was thinking.
Well, I don't think she would care.
Hmm.
I really don't. I think that if someone told him, if Rick told her that that's how he died, she'd be like, oh, well.
I don't think so. I think that Carol will be very upset.
I don't know. Yeah. I just think Carol's too far gone at this point.
Really?
That also makes me think about the whole Daryl and, like, Joe, remember you said that there's going to be a scene between Daryl and Carol, something?
I think Carol's going to sacrifice herself to save Daryl.
That could definitely happen.
And she's going to die. That's the way she's going to die. He's going to be meant to die from Negan's hands. And she jumps in front of the baseball bat or something or whatever. And they're not going to kill Glenn because Glenn, people have already, they saw that people already went batshit.
Yeah.
And they said, you know what? We really don't want to piss these people off right now. So we're not going to have Glenn die in the comic like he did in the comic. We're just...
What you were saying, and then I'll say what I was going to say.
So, like, we're not going to piss these people off. They were traumatized. They weren't focused. They didn't give a crap about Morgan's origin story. They're just waiting for him to come back, and they're like, we can't go through this crap right now. So Glenn's going to live for another, like, 4 years, but we're going to kill Carol.
Yeah,
and that's what basically.
If Daryl dies, we'll riot. Nah, forget that. If Glenn died, he'll riot. Do they have evidence of that?
It's going to be historic. It's going to be a historic death, making the ultimate sacrifice to save Daryl. You know, I mean, I would rather see her die that way than either choking on a cookie or getting killed by, like, a walker or something.
Yeah.
So it's more believable to me if they get surrounded by Negan and Negan is about to kill Daryl, and he's like, does anybody want to take his place? And then she raises her hand or something, like, or whatever. Something.
You know what they could very well have, like, they could introduce Negan, and then she kind of goes off to try and get rid of him, you know, in some proactive way, and she gets caught in something, and then later on he just kills her.
Right, she could try to be the badass character that saved everybody from Sanctuary, and then gets killed.
Yeah.
Like, instantly.
That's how I've pictured her dying.
Right.
You know, since she's made it this far.
And he's ready for her. Like, he's been watching. He's ready for her.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous, though, about... I mean, I love that he did it, but Daryl doing the whole blowing up of his group is, like, it's making me think, like, is there some way he could, like, find out who did it? It's like... That's one of the evidence that people are thinking that it's going to be Daryl. I guess because he did that he'll have like a bone to pick or four to pay, or whatever. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, I'd see Rick and Daryl in the end. The last season. I don't even see Carl living to the end.
I don't know. I think that both Daryl and Carol will die just in different ways. I don't know. That's the one I'm going
for. Probably Michonne, Daryl, and Rick, and everybody else will be, like, wiped out. Maybe Maggie and Glenn.
Yeah.
But everybody else will be done.
Maybe they may. I don't know. Do you ever see Glenn and Maggie ever separating from the group?
No, that's done. That's done now.
Stay with them.
We're not doing that anymore. Yeah.
There's the whole thing with, in the comment they say, okay, spoilers for anyone who doesn't know this about the comic, but they say that Maggie becomes the leader of the Hilltop. That it's like after Glenn dies, because that's where they go after Glenn dies, and in the book. And she becomes the leader, and that maybe that's what they're
leader of Alexandria or something else.
No, the Hilltop. They call it the Hilltop. It's a place.
Someplace else.
Yeah, it's another place they go, and she becomes the leader, and very high, ranking person, the leader, basically the one that everybody goes to. I think that they kind of foreshadowed that in the show. With I don't know if they're going to go that route, making it be where.
So Rick's not the leader.
No, I don't know if he. I think he just lets her be the leader or something. I don't know, but in the comic book they say she's the leader of Hilltop, and that
is Negan still alive in the comic?
Huh? Who?
Is Negan still alive in the comic?
Yeah.
He followed them?
He stays a long time, they say.
They capture him at one point.
And they say that he's actually kind of... He gets to where he's, like, kind of, sort of interacting with Rick in a not-so-bad way, not-so-villain way. Like, that they kind of have
yeah. If you know how that whole situation ends, it ends like they have like a army, like Rick and Negan have like an army, and they like two armies, and they fight each other, and then like when Rick Negan, I think there's a point where Negan's about to kill Rick, and Rick like he's telling him all the things that they've been through, and Negan's like, "You're just like me," and they start to kind of like realize that they're similar. And then I think it's Rick. He shoots Negan in the neck, but it's not fatal.
Yeah.
And they capture him and they put him in a cell. And I think that's where he's been up until recently. I think he's gotten out, and that's where. That sounds like what Gloria is talking about.
Yeah, that's what
also, he was in a cell, and now he's not in a cell. Right.
But I mean, the whole thing with Maggie being the leader of Hilltop, I think that kind of. They say that the baby has a lot to do with like stuff going on. That it's important that she has the baby because the baby's involved in some plots later on. I mean, I don't know what the plots are.
The baby's probably the cure.
Yeah, that's what I don't know if that's in the comic book, but they say I told them when they told me someone told me about it.
Or Judith would be the cure.
I don't want to know because if I ever decide to read it, I'm going to already know so much. I don't want to know about that because that's one thing. Because when it comes to Gwen's baby, I don't want to know. I want that to be a shock for me.
Right. Well, Judith is dead in the comics, so that means Judith was going to cure, but now Maggie's baby. All right.
Herschel. Oh, Herschel. She named him Herschel.
Aww.
But on the comic book cover, there's a comic book cover of her holding him, and he looks just like the Glenn in the comic book. Just so cute, adorable. But I'm like that. I love babies. I love kids and stuff. So it's like. I told the person that told me about that, I was like, I want to know.
Now, is Carl dead in the comics?
No.
Not yet.
No, not yet. He's together with Lydia, who is basically Enid in the comics.
Okay.
I don't know if he still is, but from what I was told, he's with her.
Is he?
There's a weird thing I saw. I think it's in the comics. I don't know if it's like a fan-made thing, but like, it's really gross. Like. He lost his eye in the comics, right? Like, in the show. And there's a panel where she's, like, really close to his face.
And she licks it.
And she's licking the whole of
I
his
saw
eye.
that. That's disgusting.
And I was like,
the comic.
Dude, get her away from you. Like, that's not hygienic at all.
And she said it's sexy that it doesn't have, like, he lost his eye and stuff. I guess it's one of those things like girls like guys with scars kind of thing. I don't know.
I could just see Rick walking in on them, and he's just like, cool!
Oh, no, he would be. He would, because they say after that he loses his virginity to her.
Oh.
Okay. Wow.
Go Carl!
Carl! Yeah.
Hey, man. There you go.
But, yeah.
I think they got Walking Dead Titans, too.
They do.
Not that I'm getting any ideas.
Oh no! Get you started on that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, that's a lot.
Too many characters in that.
Now, Chris, tell me if this was God. I asked him if there was such thing as Godzilla Titans. I'd be all over that. Right? Would you?
I mean, I think that would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
It'd be so expensive, but
Yeah.
Right. Well, they're already expensive. You get one figure for like $10.
I mean, they have figures that are similar to those figures, but they're not like packaged the same way or anything.
Right. Right. So, all right. So, anybody dying this week? Probably not. on Walking Dead.
I think it's a filler one when it comes to that sort of thing.
It's the crossbow saga.
If,
right?
if it is anything, yeah, it does look like that because they're running and stuff. So it does seem like that's what they're doing, trying to get his
Would you really be looking for a crossbow when all the walls are down with the walkers like right now? By the way, all right.
Maybe the crossbow is the answer.
Is there a time jump on this? Is this when the time jump is?
Oh, there's a time jump.
Yeah. Is this?
I don't know.
It might because they have to rebuild everything. The things that got
right. Maybe they'll do a time jump. Now,
There's a time jump.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Oh jeez.
Yes. There's gonna be a time jump.
Oh.
There was already a time jump when. What?
Oh my gosh.
What happened?
If there's a time jump, what if Maggie's really pregnant on this one the next episode?
Well, that's the thing. The baby will be born already. The baby will be born.
It can be born. Oh my god! I can't wait
the time. Here's the thing. There was already a time jump when Herschel's barn burned down, and Michonne and Andrea were like in the winter time, right?
True.
So we're probably gonna get another time jump.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! I hope it's actually. And then there was also a time jump with within the prison because the next time we see Lori, she's really big.
Right.
So I'm actually kind of hoping because I hope we actually get to see the
time jump.
And Judith would be older too. Judith would be older too then.
Well, it's not gonna be that much of a time jump. It's gonna be like a 10-month time jump probably.
Well, I mean, she's already getting pretty big anyway.
Or maybe a 5-month time jump or whatever it is going to be,
Yeah.
That's
so I'm actually expecting that Maggie would be just bigger. They'll probably have it be to where we.
They'll probably do a time jump, but then they'll do a flashback when the baby was born. And here's the thing: if they kill Glenn, then they would do a flashback after he's dead with the baby being born and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they'll kill Glenn.
And could you imagine that though? Like just the shock and awe of Negan just coming up and being like, "Oops, did you guys like him?" Like,
oh.
You know, he's my most hated character in the book.
Of course, he's totally a character.
Why is that, Gloria?
Yeah.
That is the most duh statement I've ever said. But yeah.
How does Maggie die? She dies or no?
No, no.
She's not dead in the comic? Okay.
Not that I know.
Oh, Maggie.
I mean, in the recent ones, I don't know. But she stays a long time. She's alive for a long time.
Okay. Who else are we missing? What about Abraham? How did he die?
Shot in the back of the head.
By Negan?
I don't know by who, just shot in the back of the head. That's information I got from the book.
What about Sasha and...
don't know about Sasha. I'm not
the
sure.
priest?
I'm not sure about the priest either. I don't know. There's so many ones I don't know everything, all of the different deaths and stuff. But.
Yeah. All right, gang.
So I think he stays around for a little while longer.
Oh.
Heath, the one with the dress.
Yeah. Okay.
Spencer, I don't know if he dies. I know he's in more, but I don't know when he dies either. I don't know even if he's dead yet.
So they'll leave Alexandria at some point and go to someplace near?
Yeah,
so that would be another fortress that's...
I'm thinking Hilltop will probably be... I mean, I don't know. Chris, you might know a little. But, like, wouldn't the next place be Hilltop? Because that's if they go with the book. Like, because after Glenn dies...
But is Hilltop related to them, where same people built another fortress, or no?
And they bury him on the hilltop. They bury Glenn at the hilltop.
Oh, okay.
No, I think Hilltop's like further than what I know, because I'm almost certain that there's a point where they meet remnants of the U.S. military. I think. I remember hearing that somewhere.
Ooh, the boat.
But I might be wrong.
Right.
So really, when do you think they'll meet up with the Fear the Walking Dead cast?
Mid-season 7B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, but it won't be, because here's the thing. They start in April. That's when all Walking Dead ends.
Yeah.
So right after they have that, you're not going to see, because there's no green light for a third season. So you're going to see Walking Dead start season 7 in October. And then when they take a break in the mid-season premiere or something, they'll probably be together with the finale or whatever.
That makes sense. It might be even like mid-season finale or mid-season.
And what will probably happen is that we will get a new Walking Dead spin-off to do with China or wherever in April or the summer, because Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead's going to be merged, and even one of the people from the plane is going to merge with Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead, so it's going to be all three, which that's got to be the worst thing I've ever seen, by the way. The plane thing is just the most dragged out piece of crap stuff.
At least it's starting to pick up now, though.
Yeah, but I hope they just never do that again, because it took like a year and a half for like that guy to turn. So it's boring and unfulfilling and it's terrible.
We've got Walking Dead on a plane. We've got Walking Dead on a boat upcoming. The next thing is, it's logical, Walking Dead on a train.
Or Eskimo walkers.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. And a zombie Chili Willy the Penguin. No, I mean, yeah. So that's basically.
You see Rick. He's like, we gotta shoot him, and then all of a sudden you see these penguins. They're like, wah wah. They're just like, shoot him, Carl.
We gotta build crops in the ice.
We gotta build igloos.
Like, what do you eat? Fish?
Build igloos. Gotta get this igloo up, guys. Gotta get this
zombie polar bears.
I could just picture him trying to build an igloo, and the walker walks on the igloo and knocks the snow in. It's like building a snowman. It's not working. Yeah.
Do you want to shoot a walker?
They should do a Walking Dead Christmas special.
Yeah.
They should really get into the spirit one year.
The No Way Out should have been a Christmas special because there's snow in the comics.
Like they'll have a walker that's dressed like Santa coming in the chimney, like we're stuck in the chimney. Like,
ho ho
ho! Yeah, you'll never see a Walking Dead Christmas special. Never. Nope. Never be. It's just ridiculous.
I'm still waiting for the episode. I'm still waiting for the episode where Rick gets hit in the head with like a brick or something, and like the whole episode is like, what if this was a dream? And he's like walking. He wakes up and like the governor's his doctor, and he's like, "How you doing, Mr. Grimes? How do you feel?"
Yeah, he's coming back in there too.
And then like the next episode, he's like, "I had the weirdest dream."
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Thank God they're not doing that. Thank God they said right away that is real.
No, I mean like that's not how it would end, but they would just do that as like a special episode, and then like he wakes up at the end and everything's back to normal, and he's like, oh.
No, I would do an episode where he gets hit in the head, but then when he's all disoriented, and what we see is, what I would do is, all the people that are dead are alive at this point in time. And then, like, I would have Andrea, I would have Shane, and him just getting confused, like, interacting with Negan and stuff. Like, what would happen if Dale was there with the RV and everybody?
Lori,
and then he wakes up and they're all dead. But, like, how would they react? How would Herschel give him advice with Negan? And like, just have everybody in, like, a 2-part episode or 3-part episode, and he's like, how are you here? And now he's like, what are you talking about? Like, you bumped your head or whatever. Shane's been the leader for a while. What are you talking about? Or something,
You know what would be interesting, too, is if they did, like, a what-if thing where Rick never woke up. And, like, it was the group without Rick. See how far they would get.
The world would be over. Like, the world would be... they would be all dead. Like,
all things turned out good because of Rick. So.
Yeah, they would all be dead. Honestly.
It'd be kind of like how the Doctor, without the Doctor, how the stars started to disappear and things.
Yeah, that was a great episode. That's why I think more shows should do that, because that's really interesting stuff to think about.
I would do something that there was something to that doctor with that base that blew up. That maybe he was cloning people trying to test the virus. Like maybe he cloned like Rick and all of them. So like when they really die, you see them like waking up in this thing or something because the government is just trying to save the human race. So they're cloning everybody and storing them or something.
I just want an explanation for what the hell's going on. Like I just want to know.
You'll never get it. Yeah,
I know. That's the thing. And you know what? In a way, it's kind of good that they don't tell, you know?
Yeah.
In a way.
Like every time you're going to get close. See, my thing is I want them to introduce someone that's immune.
Yeah.
But they won't, and then when they go to use that person gets chopped up or gets grinded or something into a, whatever.
It'd be cool if it's Glenn and Maggie's thing.
I would bring the guy back from that he left by the tree that he just didn't turn. I would just bring him back. He's a dick or something. And he has his own group, and he's just nasty as hell. And he has these. Because remember, they said he said something like he saw the future. He saw that all those people died. He says, "Stay with the boat." To Rick. So at some point in time, Rick's going to go in a boat, and he's got to stay with the boat and not leave the boat.
Hey, the boat from Fear the Walking Dead.
There you go. Maybe they'll get in the boat.
Yo, I think you just hit it there.
Maybe he'll get in the boat. They're like, you get in the boat. And then because in other words, people are like, oh, we're going to leave the boat to take care of the walkers outside. Yeah. And then he'll remember that and say, no, I got to stay with the boat. And then people will leave or will die.
How sick would that be, man?
Right? That would be cool. But where would the boat go? Where would it land? New York? Where would it go?
Some port, I mean... Yeah. If they get to the East Coast somehow,
Yeah. Because I know they said they're going to New York eventually.
That would be fantastic.
They said they would love that. To be in, like, Times Square and be all messed up and,
How many walkers would there be there, though?
Oh,
everywhere.
It would be like every square inch would be a walker.
It would probably be a lot worse than it was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It would be unbelievable. And
or maybe they get there and like New York was bombed or something, like because they were bombing the cities.
Yeah.
Right.
So it could look really run down and destroyed. And
what they could do? They could make it where the power is still on in New York.
Oh yeah.
Times Square is still on, but the walkers are walking around. And somebody's living there. Like people are living there high above while the walkers are all the way, because
that's a cool idea, yeah.
Like the walkers can't take the elevator. Like they don't know what they're doing. They can't climb the stairs. You're gonna be on like the 300th floor. So like everybody that's alive is probably in New York on the top floor.
Yeah.
And they have like helicopters dropping food in or something.
Well, have they ever? They've never. I don't know if they've ever said it in the comics, but they never explained what happened to like the president and the cabinet, right?
Well,
like they could still be alive somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure they're underground.
Something like that, yeah.
All of them, yeah. I'm sure that but they should do stuff with the show, throw stuff into it, like natural disasters and stuff. How do you know the effect of the Earth didn't get screwed up with the walkers and all that stuff? Like the temperature would change, or there'd be storms all the time, like hurricanes or tornadoes, or be diseases with different things. I mean, it's got to affect the environment eventually. They don't even breathe, so the oxygen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they got to do something with a storm or something on Walking Dead or something like that.
I always said that that it was always because like you notice it's just humans that get infected. There's got to be something to that. Like why is it just humans that get infected?
Well, maybe that's the key with the cure.
Because it's got to be something that affects humans only.
It's got to be with the animals. Maybe the animals are the cure.
Alien.
Huh?
No, I don't want to see anything like that. I don't want to see nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, don't involve stuff like that.
That's when they go off the cliff, like figuratively. They just flies off the cliff right there.
Well, jumped in the shark, yeah.
Yeah, zombie sharks.
Yeah, they find out that the aliens caused the virus, and they're like, oh, screw, now we're going to deal with this crap now. Yeah.
Rick's like, we gotta
imagine
fuck
that.
That would be a
You
stupid.
imagine that like the Walking thing is done, and now they got a new threat, and he's got
No.
to take care of like this whatever. It'll be Independence Day with the Walking Dead cast.
Yeah, I don't want that. I mean, I know it wouldn't be that reason. So that theory of that fan.
That'd be
Well, you
sick.
know what would be an interesting thing they could introduce is if they say that the walkers are starting to get smarter, like the ones that are alive now.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
Not like really.
I hope they're going to make them start
just
going faster, though.
more intelligent than what we see.
Oh, so they're evolving?
No, I'm not saying
Alright.
like they're able to like use weapons or anything like that, but I'm saying like maybe you see one of them like opens a door or something, or one of them
Or when he goes to stab them, they block him.
Yeah, something like that, something subtle, something subtle. Not like they're talking to each other or anything like that.
If they introduced a few walkers that are like different from that, then that would freak them out.
Yeah.
Like if Rick wouldn't know what to do, be like, oh my god, like these walkers are just. What if they spread? What if they become like that? And they're a little faster.
Yeah.
Like a little bit,
Yeah.
Like they run.
That's what someone told me. They say that they're thinking that someone said that they're thinking about making them faster, and that just freaks me out because it makes me think of the movie Dawn of the Dead, where they run faster.
That was too fast. That was ridiculous.
But you know what? Though, listen to this though. They've never encountered a walker that's an athlete. What if they got like what if they got like bodybuilding type walkers that are like super strong or super fast?
That would be really weird.
And if they're faster because they were the whole time they were taking care of their body until they died. Walkers that can lift like 400 pounds. Wow. Eventually they're gonna have to. The wolves created the technology or different things to distract. They have these little things that made noise for the walkers to go after. They're gonna eventually have to get smart, Rick, and create stuff like that too, rather than flares and stuff. So, all right, guys, it's getting late, so I still have to upload a whole bunch of stuff too. I'll probably do it tomorrow. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Godzilla video too. So, all right, guys. Good night, Chris. Good night, Gloria.
Good night.
Take care. Bye for now.